What's up, Thrashers, and welcome back once again to the Thrash Maniac 99 YouTube channel, and I am back with a new episode of Under the Radar for you guys. And today I'm talking about 3 albums that came out on May 17th, and a couple of them are pretty big, one of them's a lot more underground. And we're going to kick things off with the more underground release, and that's Hemotoxin with When Time Becomes Loss. This is a California-based progressive death/thrash metal band. Although I will say, for the most part, this is more prog thrash. There's only a little bit of death metal moments, mainly in like the blast beats, the grooves, and low-end tremolos. There are a couple of spots of some death metal riffs that pop up on here, but this is for the most part like prog thrash. I would say it's absolutely chaotic. The fury behind this is quite thrashy. Even a song gets really fast, like German thrash levels of fast. The vocals, this is done by Michael Chavez from Ripped to Shreds. This is his band, and his vocals are quite... Wow, my voice went away. His vocals are quite nasty sounding, like they're very, very gruff. Now, as far as like the songwriting dynamics, you get some really cool solos that range from just dive bombs and shred, and even some like really cool melodies coming up within these leads. I will say there's one riff on this album. It sounds exactly like Blood Incantation's Slave Species of the Gods. It is almost a direct lift off of that song, which I thought was pretty cool, though. There's some galloping rhythms, there's occasional chugging riffs, some cool acoustic and clean guitars to add more to the melody and the overall diversity of the album. Really, the only complaint that I had about this album is that when it gets into the longer tracks, they can drag a little bit, but they're still fantastic. So if you are a fan of like Sound of Perseverance era Death, Ex Mortis, Revocation, and Vector, you will dig this. I dug it. I'm going to give it a 3.5. I thought this was a pretty solid album. But now moving on to the next album, which is Pain with I Am. Of course, the latest album from Peter Tägtgren's symphonic industrial metal project that he has alongside of Hypocrisy. And of course, whenever I listen to this band, I always come in expecting a lot of fun, but a lot of like personal reflection, so to speak. Like, you get a lot of fun, up-tempo songs, very catchy. The guitar tone is still heavy and crunchy sounding. I do like the use of the industrial electronic elements throughout, as well as the symphonic elements, and even, dare I say, 80s synthwave kind of gets snuck in on a lot of these tracks. Yeah, some hilarious lyrics on a few songs, but then you get some lyrics, like especially in the song Push the Pusher, that I can personally relate to, about not wanting to grow up and not being so serious about a bunch of shit and just be like a big kid at heart who knows responsibility, essentially. Some somber, clean guitars and piano on a couple of tracks. Like, this album, and really Pain as a whole, it's all about personal reflection, humor, and just partying and having a good time with fun, catchy, symphonic industrial metal. So, while it doesn't set the world on fire, like if you're expecting Peter Tägtgren to write some like intricate songs, this isn't the band for you. You listen to this band for fun, catchy stuff. So if you are a fan of later era Samael, The Covenant, Fear Factory, and Rammstein, definitely check this out. I'm also going to give this a 3.5. I thought this was really fun and quite a jam. Quite a jam. But now that leads us to the big one out of 3 for me, and that is Pallbearer with Mind Burns Alive. The latest offering from these upcoming modern doom metal titans that I have not checked out before. I've always heard this name come through in like comments and also other people talk about him, and I just never gave him a shot. There's only so many bands I can check out in my spare time, and I wish I had more time, but I digress. This album, I will say, so yeah, Arkansas doom metal right here, and I gotta say, not quite what I was expecting, but I loved it. You know, beautiful, clean melodies. The vocals are very sullen. I get tons of 70s vibes, like old school 70s vibes within the melodies, the acoustics, even the riff writing feels very 70s based. And for the most part, this album is all about somber atmosphere with the acoustics, the melodies. When it does get heavy, the guitar tone is massive. But again, I think this is all about the feelings and the vibes. This is one of the saddest sounding albums I've heard in a little while. But yeah, I love the bass tone on here and the production, like the mix is great. Again, this album, it just goes for sorrow when it comes down to it. So, if you are a fan of Black Sabbath, Candlemass, Chemist, and hell, I would even say Pagan Altar, check this out. I thought this was brilliant. I'm going to give it a 4.5 out of 5. I really, really dug this. But of course, those are all just my opinions. What did you guys think of these albums? Let me know in the comments below. Of course, the links to the albums will be in the description box for you guys to check out. Like, comment, share, subscribe, all that stuff. Keep your horns high and your dreams wet.
Thank you for your patronage.